Hey everybody, Michael Mowbray here from MoLight. Excited to introduce to you the brand new MoBD portable beauty dish. Ta-da! Comes in a really nice little carrying case. One of the things I really like about this, other than the fact it's a great modifier. So let's take a look at what comes in the bag and how to set it up, and then we'll show you some of the stuff that we can do with this. So this is actually my personal one, so I kind of tore it down and threw it back in the bag. So this is what it would look like after you've been on location. So let's pull this out and you can see the innovative snap-in integrated rod system. What does that mean? Well, I'll show you in a second. But first things first, if you want to use this as a beauty dish, there's some modification that you have to do right away. So you will need a little Phillips head screwdriver because this comes as a double diffused softbox, or it comes as an undiffused beauty dish, or it's a beauty dish with diffusion, or it's a beauty dish with double diffusion, and you can add a grid to all that stuff. So a lot of different permutations on this. But one of the things that you do have to do is if you really want to use this as a beauty dish, I'll show you real quick what's got to change. You'll see on the inside there's some screw posts sticking out. Those are separate. They come in a little plastic bag. What comes with the beauty dish itself is a shorter screw. You can see that connection here in the back. So there's two screws that you remove, okay, and they help hold in the mount system. You take out the short screws, you put in the longer screws, as we can see in here, here, and here. And why that's important is that there are two posts that need to screw into this. So let's pull those out of the bag. Posts look just like this. Screw right onto the longer screw that you just put in. And what this is, it's the mount for your deflector plate for the beauty dish. So it's going to tighten that up. Now, there are two little thumb screws that come with this as well. You grab your deflector plate and you have two options for this. I'm going to tell you, you can do it like this with the convex portion aimed out, or you can do it with the convex portion aimed in. I advocate for and I prefer the convex portion in, especially if you're going to try to use this with a Fresnel head, because it needs that curve. As the flash hits this, it'll help fill the outer edges of the box a little bit better. Although I do highly recommend using a bare bulb flash with a beauty dish. So put your AD200 into bare bulb mode, or use an AD360 or 362 or the 600. That's going to work a little bit better with the beauty dish than a Fresnel lens anyway. But if you've got a speed light, no reason you can't use it with it. But I do recommend putting the curved side back towards the flash. So come back here. We take the thumb screw, put it through the hole, screw it into the post. Same thing on the other side. And now we've got our deflector plate in place. But we've got to pop out our box. We've got to set up our box. Okay, let's take a look at how we snap our really cool built-in spring-loaded rods into place. So I'm going to show you the way I prefer to do it, and I'll show you an alternative to it. So first we flip this thing over, and I prefer to do this on the floor or on the ground or on a table like what I've got here. And make sure that all your flaps are open so you can access the rods. From there, it's a matter of taking your hand, just pressing down on the mount, grabbing onto one of the rods, lift, and you'll see it snaps right into place. Now I believe in using a 180-degree system. So once I do this one, I want to do one on the other side. Then I want to do one here. And I want to do one here. And if you've got one that's a little tough, especially in the early going, you just might have to press a little harder. But as you break in the dish, it's going to become easier and easier. And this is pretty easy to set up. So from there, we just kind of go over and work into a little different angles here. Keep snapping them in. Once you've got most of the angles done, you can just kind of come in and grab them all like that. And it's just that easy. To release them, pretty similar way to do it. You just pull. Watch what I'm doing with my thumb here. I'm pressing down, I'm pulling up with this, and I'm grabbing onto the knurled part of this, and I'm pulling it out. So I can do that over here as well. Boom. And doing over here as well. Boom. Takes a little bit of hand strength, but not too bad. Now, if you don't have a lot of hand strength and you're having a hard time with this, it's perfectly okay to grab a small pair of pliers, throw it in your carry bag with this. Once you've broken this thing in a little bit, it's going to be a lot easier. But if it's hard in the early going, it's okay to just grab some vice grips or some pliers and put them on that one, lift up, and pull it down. Okay? So, and just keep going around the box. And if you get one that's like this one's a little sticky, you can skip it and come back around, because once you get most of them loosened up, it gets really easy. You should be able to set up and tear this thing down in under a minute on location. There you go. Okay? Now the other way to set this up, and some people have said they've had luck doing it this way, is to flip it over like this. This way I don't particularly like pressing down like on the beauty dish deflector, because that could bend it. But you see, these are popping in. See, I think it's a little bit more awkward to do it this way, but you know what? If it works for you, go for it. Because this way you can press down with a little bit more of your weight on these rods if you need to. And there you go, rock and roll. Now on the inside we do have space for an inner diffusion panel, which is included. Pristine, I haven't even taken it out yet. Why? Because I prefer to use the beauty dish deflector, and at that point I think having a separate interior baffle is kind of redundant. You don't really need it. Hang on here. And I forgot even that you're supposed to do these on alternating Velcros. No reason to hit all of them. Another nice reason to just do this on a table like this, you can just spin it. Boom. So I've got that in. We've got an outer diffusion panel. Now when you install this, be sure obviously that you're going to line up the edges, because it's a 16-sided box to give it more of a round look. I tried to do it just on the inside where it's going to make good clean contact. And here's why. I want to leave a lip here, so if we want to use the included grid, we can do that. That just spins around, boom, boom, boom. And done. So again, we use it as a beauty dish by itself. We can add in the diffusion to soften it up a little bit, and that's really how I use it on location. I like to leave the deflector dish in, and I put on the outer diffusion panel only. Now, whether or not I use the grid depends on how much I want to spread light. One nice other element of this is that it's got, you can see it on the side here, it doesn't shoot straight out. It comes back in, and we've got a lip here. We've got a lip for the grid, but also it helps to contain the spill. And that's really important when lighting. It's a really important feature of any modifier is to contain the spill, so you've got more control over where you're placing your light. And that's one of the things we built into this. So pretty cool spring-loaded rod system. Collapses down, goes back into your carrying case. You can take it on to your next location. For me, I photograph seniors and weddings. Once I pop it up on location, I leave it popped up. And if I'm going to jump in the truck and go to the next location, I just throw it in the back seat. It only takes a minute, but I'm lazy. and I don't like to futz with things on location. So I get it set up, we take it out, we run around, throw it in the back of the truck, go to the next location. When we're done, I break everything down, goes back into the bag. So here you go, the very versatile MoBD, the portable 30-inch beauty dish from MoLite.